Hello and welcome to Business Digest, the show that keeps you on the loop on what's happening in the business world across the country. My name is Dana Iriza and I'm your host for today. Let's have a look on our today's top stories. Our first top story for today will be looking at telecommunications operations in Africa and its contribution to the single regional market and the digital transformation in the continent. Rwandan universities are competing for innovation cash at the Hult Prize Foundation competition. Last but not least, did you know that chocolate production is being carried out within the country? Business Digest gets to follow up on this new business venture. While Africa is on the verge of a technological revolution, telecommunication players are agitating for the addressing of policy bottlenecks to position digital connectivity as a key enabler of the continental's transformation. According to Microsoft for Africa, new goods, services and business models are driving innovation, facilitation, communication and collaboration, fostering efficiency and transparency, but a lot needs to be done from a policy point of view for digital connectivity to play its role in realization of a smart Africa. Statistics from the International Telecommunication Union (ITU) show a rapid growth in mobile phone usage in Africa, with 80.8% of mobile penetration and 25.10% internet penetration. Globally, the value of cross-border data has surpassed that of goods. Data has become the new oil, the study shows. However, infrastructure in harnessing the benefits of this new oil are still challenges. And we're here at the Transform Africa 2018 edition, and we're here with the General Manager of Microsoft Africa, Ms. Abrote Abdella, and she's here to share more light on what Microsoft is doing in terms of promoting digital revolution in Africa. Thank you so much, Ms., for taking the time to have this interview with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, please brief us a little bit on Microsoft Africa and what it is doing in terms of promoting digital revolution in Africa.
Absolutely. So Microsoft over the last 5 years has been investing heavily around the digital transformation of our economies, primarily looking at key areas that we have all prioritized, even on the conversations that we've had over the last 2 days. One is around innovation, which is that what is it that we need to do to unlock innovation in Africa, right? So we talk about the youth, but what are the technical skills that we need to embed? What are the enablements and tools that we need to make available for innovation to really take off in Africa? The second piece is around affordable access, right? And so, connectivity is definitely at the heart of some of the discussions that we've had, but we've also identified it and have been working significantly over the last 5 years in addressing that. We've launched 15 TV white spaces projects in 6 countries, and really looking at how do we drive the last mile connectivity so that we're able to drive services, delivery, but also impact around some of the areas that we have identified in the last few years. Last but not least is around skills, right? And so we talk about digital revolution, but none of it can actually come to life if we don't have the right skill sets and the youth well prepared to go into the workforce. So to date we've launched and trained 775,000 youth through practical but also through business enablement to make sure that they actually understand and ready to go into the workforce and drive that impact.
So do you have any examples to share with us that Microsoft can showcase in different sectors such as education, agriculture?
Yeah, we do actually. So I'll start off with an example of agriculture. There's a company that we have been working with for the last few years called Aggen. And what it started off with is essentially a financing platform. So it started with the SACCOs and looking at how do you today allow for a farmer to have access to credit. So it's a financial services tool, but they have over the last few years have had a transaction of over $2 million a month going through the platform. So they're definitely scalable, innovative solutions that we have seen coming through, whether it's related to health, agriculture, education, or even energy. So there are more and more of these, but our responsibility and our commitment is to make sure that one, we give the right visibility, the right tool sets, the right opportunity for some of these startups and innovation to actually take off.
Let's talk about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. What does it mean to Africa's digital revolution?
it's, yesterday His Excellency the President mentioned that, for us to really talk about the regional integration, we first have to look at technological integration as part of the discussion, and in fact should be preceding any of the other regional integration that we talk about. And that's very much at the heart of it, right? So if we are able to lay down the infrastructure, the connectivity that allows for free goods of services and the transportation of people, then we can really start implementing our aspiration to drive regional integration in a meaningful and scalable way across the continent, and eventually reach the one digital marketplace that we've been discussing over the last couple of days.
Hult Prize is a startup accelerator for budding young social entrepreneurs emerging from world's brightest universities, giving the world's brightest young minds the means to be creative and innovative in the business world. The Hult Prize national competitions will be held on the 18th May 2018. Sponsored by B-Box, 10 universities from Rwanda are going to test it out for the Hult Prize, one of the world's most important competitions in social entrepreneurship. The universities include University of Rwanda, Africa Leadership University, Carnegie Mellon University, Kepler University, and the winner will walk away with $1 million. Joining me now to discuss on this topic is Eli Mandela, the National Director of the Foundation Hult Prize. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, please enlighten us on these finals.
Thank you once again. My name is Eli Mandela, and I work with the Hult Prize Foundation, but as a National Director for the Hult Prize Rwanda specifically, which is a national program. And we're having the national finals, which is bringing together teams that have been part of the program since last year in August, and we'll be having a local prize, which is $30,000 before they can, before the national winner can go ahead and compete for the $1 million on a global level.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think that's where I got it twisted up. $30,000 goes to the winner in Rwanda, and then $1 million goes to
the winner on the global level.
On the global level.
Yes.
So what are your objectives? What are the objectives behind this, holding these finals?
So first of all, the core belief of the Hult Prize one is that there is a huge resource, which are students around the world, and we have these huge major challenges that are not getting any better, and these students are getting skills and knowledge, but they're not really being translated into action while they're done with school. So the Hult Prize comes in to inspire and engage these students to come up with social good startups that can tackle the challenges that we have in the community. So basically what we are doing here in Rwanda is, one, we are engaging university students within Rwanda to come up with social enterprises that are tackling the challenges that we have as a community, but at the same time generating
and what are
profit.
these challenges that we're facing? Do you mind throwing more light on
Definitely.
that?
So the way the Hult Prize works is that we have a different challenge every single year. So this year's specific challenge is about energy. How do we use energy to transform the lives of 10 million people? So the students this year, the 7 universities that participated in Rwanda, have been working for the past, since August last year, coming up with these businesses that can tackle the challenges that we have in Rwanda in energy, but these are businesses that can be scalable on the continent and even globally.
What are the number of students that are going to be participating in this the finals here in Rwanda?
So far we've had a couple of stages. So we started with a competition on the university level, where we've had the top teams come out of the university and go on to the semi-finals. So we held our semi-finals in March, and the top 6 teams out of the top teams from the universities are the ones that will be at the national finals. And we basically have 6 teams which are composed between 3 to 6 students, and these teams are the ones that will be pitching for the grand prize. However, the national final is not just a pitching competition, and what we're trying to create is actually create an ecosystem for social entrepreneurship in this country. And we will be having a conversation around how do we create an innovation culture, an entrepreneurial culture between or within the students that we have in the university learning ecosystems. And so we're expecting between 500 and 700 people that will be part of the national finals. Okay,
are you putting gender balance into consideration? What is the number of male participants and female participants?
Well, that's a nice question, and what we're looking at, first of all, when we're looking at the teams, they've all been gender sensitive, and the teams are either 50% with both participants, female and male, but we're also looking at while the people that will be coming in the nationals, we have a call for applications, call for registration. So the people that we want to participate are actually registering right now to be part of the program.
Okay, so looking into the education in Rwanda, do you think it's the kind of education that is of high quality, that is competitive on the global market?
So, well, one thing I think what the government has been doing is putting so much energy into actually creating quality education, but we still have a long way to go. And I do believe one of the things that actually the program is working on is how do we translate the knowledge that these students are getting, which they usually they get the knowledge and they use it to answer the exams, but now they're using the very same knowledge to and translate it into creating or solving problems that we have in the community. So when it comes to the quality of education, I think we still have a very long way to go, but there's some steps that have been put there, and I think if we do follow those and put in more energy, we'll definitely get there.
Are we getting enough investments in the education system? Because when it comes to other fields, such as energy, such as agriculture, there's a whole lot of investments, both from the country and also foreign investments. Is it the same? Is it when it comes to education?
I think so, because when you look at global or top-tier universities that are coming in, looking at the Carnegie Mellon University Africa, which is one of the teams from there is participating. When you look at the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, when you look at these are major players within the education system on a global level that are coming in Rwanda. So I think the investment is definitely there.
Last but not least, what are your expectations from these finals, both here locally and internationally?
So, like I mentioned, the stages, the first stage started in August last year, and we've had the competitions whereby the teams have been coming up with their businesses. So we now have 6 top teams. And one of the things that we've always mentioned is that we don't want just this to be a competition. So we want to make sure that by the time the national finals is done, we're going to have the top 6 teams go ahead and create their businesses. But the top team, the number 1 team that is going to be that's going to participate, or the team that's going to win actually, is going to win $30,000, and it's going to go on to the global level in what we call the Global Accelerator.
The demand for chocolate and other byproducts of cocoa continues to rise globally, including in Africa. Cocoa flavor has rich taste and it is in antioxidants like procyanidins and flavonoids, which experts regard as rich in anti-aging ingredients. Today, people enjoy chocolate in many different forms, consuming more than 3 million tons of cocoa beans annually. Each region of the world has unique preferences and recipes for candy and desserts. Africans produce 73% of the cocoa in the world, but they consume only 4%. Most of the African cocoa is exported, generally to Europe, which is the main destination for African cocoa. Rwanda's conducive economic and business environment has encouraged many foreign investors to invest in agriculture-related businesses, such as manufacturing of chocolate. Variety of the cocoa is imported from Ivory Coast and is used to manufacture high-quality chocolate within the country. Business Digest got to have a talk with 2 of the growing chocolate manufacturers within the country to share their business journey with us.
Somehow it's logic that I do chocolate. The last 15 years in Belgium I was reconverting companies, big companies, 200, 300 people, but in industrial chocolate. I was helping them to reconvert to, they were taken over by multinationals to make everything that is okay for the new companies, for the new multinationals. I know about chocolate. So it's logic that I brought in here some chocolate. That's the link. The other link is up till now you don't have experience, you don't have a history with chocolate. And the third link is, in fact, you are here almost on the equator. It's possible to grow here cacao. So it is, by time it's possible to make something with cacao perhaps. The reason I visited Cuba first, then I was Indonesia, and then I did an economical research in Kenya, Uganda and Rwanda. And here the people came to me and they say, Muzungu, are you going to invest? May I work for you? it's no longer so usual that the people in the rest of the world say can or may I work. So I found here people that want to work. It attracts me, and the second reason why I choose for Rwanda, in fact, is your president made Kigali till the third city in Africa for doing conferences. And I was dreaming. I said perhaps one day we can serve the people coming here on the conferences with chocolate up till now created in Belgium but made in Rwanda. My company, the production unit, is still in Musanze. So we're producing from Musanze, we bring in to Kigali. It's open, it's 250 grams, and then we have to show to Rwandese people also that inside it's empty. Otherwise, suppose that everything would be chocolate, you can't bite it, it would be too hard. This is also nice for people visiting gorillas. Then, now we still have remainings of Easter. In Europe, it's very famous to have the Easter eggs. I also made them with the people at Musanze. We wrap them, we pack them. It's all done manually, and it shows like in Europe. So the European tourists, they buy them. The next step is, because Rwandans are in fact very hygienic people, they don't want to touch too much the goods they will eat. These are wrapped, and I intend to keep on producing these products, and we will call them in the future Rwandese bonbons.
Now, Business Digest is visiting the second chocolate manufacturers here in town, and with me is Mr. Eric Alice,
yes,
the managing director of Chocolate Point, and he's going to share with us everything we need to know about running this kind of business in Rwanda, manufacturing chocolates. It's something that most Rwandans are not used to. It's a brand new business here in Rwanda, right?
New, yes.
So how has it been so far? Like when did you start up your business, and how has the entire experience been so far?
It was very easy to beginning the business. Like the government gave us the facilities to beginning. It is not also the facilities, but it is for me also. I need to back home. After so many years in Europe, it's time to back home and to give my small contribution to the other country. So I'm beginning my business, chocolate businesses, and I'm still busy 8 months. Yeah, 8 months.
So what inspired you to begin this kind of business here in Rwanda? I mean, basing on the fact that Rwandans were not chocolate people, we're not into buying chocolate, we wouldn't spend our money on chocolate. So what made you go ahead and say, I'm starting up my own chocolate business in Rwanda?
Chocolate is, everybody knows chocolate. You can going in Ruingeri of Cyangugu, I don't know, and you give small kids a chocolate, and they stay in a brain, in a mind. So everybody knows the chocolate. So there is very different chocolate and quality from chocolate, but everybody knows chocolate. Also the cacao is an African product.
Yeah, so that's something we really need to get to. Before we get into the production process, I can see there's something going on over here.
Yeah.
But let us know the ingredients you have in the chocolates we have in front of us here. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I'm use only the Rwanda's product made in Rwanda, the butter from Rwanda, coffee. I don't make coffee today, but I use coffee. I make also chocolate with alcohol, few alcohol.
But where's the chocolate with alcohol?
This one.
This one here, right?
Yes.
Okay, am I allowed to taste?
Yes, please. Right. Please, you're welcome.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And we make so many different flavor. We can also make chocolate with tea, green tea. So there is so many flavor, many models to make chocolate pralines. And today I make like here peanuts, caramel with peanuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Toasted caramel and peanut chocolate.
Please.
All right. So where do you import the cocoa from?
The cocoa. Okay. The cocoa. I work with a small association in Europe. They buy the cocoa in fair trade in Congo, Ivory Coast, Paraguay. All small producer with a small production. This association buy the cocoa in fair trade, and the cocoa is bring in Europe for manufacture. So we have here different chocolate. There is white chocolate.
There isn't any cocoa in the white chocolate, is there?
There is any cocoa chocolate, any cocoa, but well, cocoa butter. Okay? There's milk, cocoa butter, and sugar. Okay? There is here the milk chocolate. Is milk, few cocoa, and butter, cocoa butter, and we have here the real chocolate, dark chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this something that somebody can make in their households at home?
Yes, but this job need precision. You must be control the temperature from chocolate, humidity.
That's something I wanted to get into, because Rwanda is not a very cold country. So how does that go with your business? Because I really expect the temperature to affect your chocolate, right?
The chocolate. So I'm produce and then I'm put in a fridge. Okay, the fridge. I'm put in the fridge, and the fridge conserve to stable temperature.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
and I'm gonna learn a few things.
Okay.
All right. I should hold this.
Yeah. Put the chocolate inside.
I have to get some of this chocolate and put in the holes, right?
Yeah.
All right. Am I doing it well?
Yeah, ça va. This is a good beginning.
It's all over the place. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Take the chocolate. This
in the holes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
You may
holes.
want to do the rest.
It's plain here.
Okay.
Yes. So give out the excedent of chocolate, right?
That looks very satisfying.
And now we are going to drill, because there is hair inside. Look, let's look.
Okay.
We are drill. Look, comes a small bubble.
And how long does this process take?
Oh, 30 seconds, 1 minute.
So in the next few seconds, the process will
the
be
next
done.
process is to take the excedent from chocolate and to back in the machine. Take the mold, set inside, this side, Lothar, make it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Oops! It won't stop shaking. So I pour it.
Yeah, pour it.
Ew.
So. Lovely.
Okay.
We have now, let me take this one. We have now a beautiful cup. All right.
But this thing over here comes in different shapes and sizes, huh?
Yeah.
You can
and
buy
then
different.
we are putting in the fridge.
In the fridge,
And
yeah.
when it's cold, we are put inside the cream.
Now, the Made in Rwanda campaign has encouraged Rwandans to come up with innovative and creative ways of doing businesses. For instance, the chocolate business you're seeing here. You're still watching Business Digest. We still have more to come. Stay with us. And on today's Business Digest Market Trends segment, we'll be discussing Rwanda's mobile telephone penetration rate rise to 76.1%. Rwanda's mobile telephone penetration rate has inched up by 0.5% to 76.1% in February from 75.6% the previous month. According to the Rwanda Utilities Regulatory Authorities Active Mobile Subscriptions Report for February 2018, the total number of active mobile telephone subscriptions rose by almost 58,090 users to 8,989,000 at the end of February, up from 8,930,000 at the end of January. This represented an increase of 0.65% over the reporting period. MTN Rwanda expands by 2.08% in February to 3,891,545, up from 3,812,168 the previous month. According to the report, Airtel customers were up slightly by 0.28% to 1,680,233 from 1,675,497 the previous month, while Tigos were down for the second consecutive month, dropping by 0.76% to 3,417,308 from 3,443,332 at the end of January. The February report shows that postpaid subscribers increased from 128,251 the previous month to 129,465 at the end of January, while prepaid subscribers rose from 8,802,746 to 8,859,621 over the reporting period. We have now reached the end of the show, but make sure to catch up with us again next week, same time and same place. I am your host, Diana Iriza. Thank you for watching and have a lovely week.